Guy here. Welcome back to another live. Approximately p.m. New York City time, and this is a live show. So anything that you type within and have the option to respond face on video. So with others, if you haven't, because we really want to, because it's congesting my network a little bit. Let's see, pause, upload. Okay, now the bandwidth should be a lot more sufficient. So let's go ahead and get started here. We got Sean Coonery in the studio. You can see he's rubbing into the computer. So I may have to hold this up so I can type, see what y'all are saying. I'm going to share out here on my Twitter really quick, so everybody knows we're live. Episode 46 of IrixGuy's live show, and obviously you'll be able to find this and all of the previously recorded episodes on IrixGuy.com. You just tweet this out and we'll get rolling here. Okay. Yep, got a lot of people in here. And by the way, if you haven't checked it out, check out on my website. I've got a giveaway, and to the best of my knowledge, it may still be live. It's got a limited duration, but for a chance to win an Amazon Echo Dot 2nd generation, just go to IrixGuy.com/giveaways, and you can find the blog post there. Again, it may already be finalized, but check it out. It's worth checking it out. If it hasn't ended yet, you may have a chance to win. So VR, virtual reality, is a big thing that's going to be talked about today. Virtual reality, also known as spherical video or 360-degree video. Something's been out for a while, but many people, including myself, were early adopters of the technology, and many people, including myself, temporarily lost interest in VR because, you know, it was great that you could go out and use a camera and capture these environments in VR and 360 and spherical, whatever you want to call it. Nicholas says, "Cat, yep, Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat's right here on the studio desk." And he said he will be ready for your questions. So anything you want to ask Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat, feel free to type it and get Sean Coonery to respond face on video. He's just right here, but I don't want to pick him up to talk on camera yet because he's taking a nap, and you don't want to irritate the sleeping beast. So with that being said. Yep, holidays rolling around, big stuff. I'm sure you got a lot of people on your shopping list. If you still have people on your shopping list, you probably failed as a shopper if you haven't bought anything yet. Not that Christmas is about giving stuff. You know, a lot of people have come to the assumption that Christmas is all about giving away, you know, monetary things. It's not about that. It's just, you know, it's a holiday. So don't, but if you are giving stuff, go to IrixGuy.com. Because on my IrixGuy.com store, you can find cameras, you can find drones. The VR cameras we're about to talk about, I got both of them listed there. If you just go to cameras and then VR on my website. The first one I used, and you'll see more of my videos from it because I filmed a lot with the LG 360 camera that I had. But at the time of filming, I didn't have a quality tool to edit those spherical 360-degree videos. So got a question in here. It says, Nicholas says, Sean Coonery, what is your favorite color? He said, obviously it's gray because he's gray, and he loves himself because he is the most famous cat in the world. Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat. So, yeah, VR, virtual reality. I mean, it's a game changer, and you know, if you haven't seen these videos, I'm going to have a lot of them coming to my channel, not just videos where, you know, I pulled out like I did in the past a VR camera and you had the the low quality audio and lack of color saturation, etc. within the video. But what's coming are videos that I'll be posting in VR on my channel that are really going to test what can we as YouTubers, what can we as adventurers, what can we do with VR, with virtual reality. And not just testing what the technological capabilities of VR are, but testing the real world applications for VR. And then, well, if I want to become involved with VR, how do I edit it? Dumbing down what used to be overly complicated video editing workflow for VR. So I'm excited about it. Drones, cameras, anything that's not just cookie cutter. That's one thing I hate. Things that are cookie cutter, just it's like it's this simple to do. I mean, if something's simplistic, there is minimal, at least from my perspective, if something's simplistic, there's a minimal amount of entertainment value. So, if I'm going to do something that's just boring, I'd rather not do it because it's of minimal entertainment value. I mean, I would rather do something that that makes one think, think outside of the box. Cool hobbies, early adopters of stuff. Drones, prime example. Not many people adopted drones during the early days, and I hesitated as well because I'm like, man, that's expensive, and it's going up in the air. That's just a recipe for losing, a decent chunk of money. But when I became involved with drones, I learned that this is a game-changing industry. It's an excellent hobby, but as hobbyists, we can only take these toys, and again, you got to be careful with them. They're not toys. They can feel like a toy, but they're not. They can be very dangerous. But we can take these drones out into a safe and responsible location and test what all they're capable of. The flight dynamics, the filming capabilities. How good does that video look from the drone? How smooth is the video? How intuitive are the controls? How easy is the firmware update process? There's so many components of drones that it keeps things constantly entertaining. And you don't have to be you don't have to be a nerd to enjoy all of this. But if you are, you probably enjoy it more because you're probably into that kind of stuff. So, likewise with virtual reality, VR. It hit many years ago. Cameras were super expensive. Then the VR cameras, they started releasing consumer price-friendly models of VR cameras. But those that were affordable for average consumers, you got a camera, but then what are you going to do with it? Because there's not, at that point in time, there wasn't quality VR, spherical, 360 degree, whatever you want to call it. You can use those terms interchangeably, but there wasn't quality software to edit the content. So what good is content that's captured if it can't be easily edited? So, fortunately, Apple, they brought something to the table that is without a doubt, has without a doubt should have reinvigorated people's interest in VR video. And that's Final Cut Pro 10.4 that, I edit all of my videos in Final Cut Pro. But now, in Final Cut Pro 10.4, I can edit VR spherical content. So now all that content that I captured and saved from my old LG 360 camera and the content that I'm about to capture with my new Samsung VR camera, I'll be able to package that in a way that will be friendly to showcase on IrixGuy's Adventure channel, youtube.com/IrixGuy, where you're watching this video. So, again, being an early adopter, but a disappointed early adopter, but then realizing the shift that had occurred, that shift is Apple releasing a VR editing component for their very popular Final Cut Pro 10. So now it's like, okay, VR is back on track. VR is not permanently derailed. This technology is going to go somewhere. So for that reason, I want to become a VR expert. I want to learn everything I can about VR. I want to share with y'all everything that I learned about VR. Ron Brown, welcome aboard. Happy holidays, everyone. Welcome aboard. This channel, drones are fun. Sean Coonery, the enormous Maine Coon cat that's sitting right here, and I'll lift him up here in a minute so y'all can talk to him, but he's a lot of fun, and he enjoys this content as well. And actually, hey, Sean Coonery, your personal presence is requested. He said he's tired. Look at that. Look at how big he is. And see, there's people that say, they're like, Sean Coonery's fake. Sean Coonery is not fake. Sean Coonery is big. He is real. Look at that. Look at my head. Look at his head. Whoa. He is not a toy. Yep. Now don't knock the camera over, okay? Yep. Had to inform him that he should not knock the camera over because I got the camera on my talk show desk. Ron says once Apple gets behind VR, it's probably going places. No doubt. Not just due to the fact that Apple wants to sell more of the iMac Pro that they came out with. I love Apple. Yeah, Sean Coonery's a huge cat. One of the biggest cats in the world. And he got fur on my laptop. But that's the thing. I mean, like you said, once Apple gets behind VR, it's probably going places. It is. And I don't think it's just going places to sell more of their iMac Pro. Obviously, they want to sell more of that. But, I mean, I'm editing VR right here on this MacBook Pro. This is a 2017 MacBook Pro 13-inch. I don't have it fully loaded to the gills, but it's still capable of editing VR. Likewise, my main studio computer over there that I'm broadcasting this live event from, the iMac with Retina 5K display, the original, it's I can edit VR with it. I mean, it's not like you have to overspend to get involved with VR. And the beauty of VR now is that since so many people became disappointed and they lost interest, a lot of these VR cameras that, including the one I got right here, that I'm just about to start filming really heavily with. And again, check out IrixGuy.com camera store, and you can find this one. I've accessorized it. I mean, I've kitted this thing out just like I need. I've got a little tripod that I can also use as a short monopod of sorts. I've got a protective piece so I don't scratch the lens. I mean, this stuff's going somewhere. Ron says iPhone 10 has VR potential also. I strongly agree. And when and I don't have the iPhone 10, I'm running an iPhone 7 Plus. But, looking at smartphones and the capabilities of OG Dylan says, hey, can you do a giveaway? Hey, man, check out IrixGuy.com/giveaway. And it may still be live, but I posted one a few days ago. It's a giveaway for an Echo Dot 2nd generation. Check out IrixGuy.com/giveaway and see if that may still be live if it's still live for, a chance to win. Find out more about it there. So, yeah. Oh, Ron, thanks for the sub, man. Yeah, iPhone 10 and VR, huge. I think looking at VR from an industrial use perspective, if you're able to train, now think about this. So, you can insert whatever industry here. Let's say it's a semiconductor assembly plant. Let's say it's an automobile assembly plant. Let's say it's not even an assembly plant. Maybe it's let's say it's some sort of food preparation service. Any type scenario where one is working with their hands in front of their face, but they don't really know what they're doing. Think about it this way. If you integrate training, real-world training, and provide people with a VR tool, in essence, one could have that VR device in front of their face, physically in front of their face, but all of the items that they're manipulating as part of the training aren't real items. They're virtual items. So, maybe it's how to make a perfect salad. Here's the lettuce, here's the tomatoes, here's the pepperoni, here's the dressing. Or maybe it's how to repair component XYZ on a vehicle, where here's this piece, here's this piece, here's that piece, and people can manipulate those items using VR to think of it as, I'd like to look at VR as a future tutorial tool. And a lot of people are limiting their thoughts around VR to just photos and videos. No, there's a lot more to it than that. OG Dylan says, hey, love your video. I'm a huge supporter. Appreciate it, man. I mean, this, as I mentioned earlier, this is an independent channel. Everything you see here is stuff I create, not part of a multi-channel network. Nothing wrong with channels that are. Those networks can provide a lot of value. But I've intentionally remained independent. And it's, it's all of y'all watching my videos, sharing my videos, subscribing to my channel, talking to people wherever it may be. You're at the golf course, you're at the bus station, you're in a bowling alley, wherever, and you're saying, hey, man, check out this channel, IrixGuy. And, well, how do I get there? Go to IrixGuy.com. You can find a link to his YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, everything. So, yeah, just tell them to go to my website. That's the best way to get to me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's see. Working on figuring out, this is B. Hendo's, working on figuring out my channel's content. That's important, and the best advice I'd give anyone that's ready to get to become heavily involved with YouTube is don't let determining which content create delays. So in other words, kind of have the vision should fall into place throughout the course of time, because there's no, and others may feel differently, but my opinion is that there's no real right or wrong. I mean, if there's content across the board, as long as you're passionate about the content, you may not even be a subject matter expert for all of the content, but you may be for some of it. Part of the thrill of YouTube is, my best advice obviously is just to be real. If you don't know something, say you don't know it. And if people laugh at you on video, it's like, man, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that, whether it's a technical how-to or whatever. As long as you post it and you own the fact that you're not an expert, so be it. Other people are learning with you, and you'll find that people that watch that content that's not all 100% scripted and 100% professionally well lit with the high-end studio lamps and this, that, and the other, a lot of people find value in just the genuine content. And some things you'll find you are a subject matter expert at. And those things, that'll bring in a large viewership, because people, they'll identify your channel as being, okay, well, this person is an expert with this. When I want to watch this, they're the first channel that I'm going to turn on YouTube, because I know they've got a lot of experience with this. And part of experience, one aspect of experience is people seeing. Think about product reviews. Think about restaurant reviews, travel reviews, any sort of review. When you're trying to gauge the authenticity of a reviewer, what you may often do is look in the past and see what they've said, see where they've been, and by looking at the history of an individual, you can better gauge their credibility. If someone's 5-starring restaurants all the time, is that a genuine reviewer? Or do they just like to go out and put a 5-star in front of everything? Being real would be someone that they may have a few 5-star reviews. They may have some that are 0 and provide sufficient documentation for why it was such a horrible experience. You don't have to be scripted. In my opinion, people shouldn't be scripted. And that's the problem. In the beginning with YouTube, one of the problems I encountered was, people, sometimes in the beginning you'll get bashed for some of your content, especially if you're across the board. I mean, if you post something very serious, and then the next thing you got, a goofy video, and then you've got a video where you're talking to cats, but then you've got a travel review. I mean, it's a balancing act. If you want to go across the board, do it, but own it. I mean, whether it's something that's well liked by the audience, own it. If it's disliked by the audience, own that too, because ultimately all of that content was created by you, and you chose to post that content. So, in my opinion, there's value in all content. So for me to refuse to post a video, I'm providing myself, I'm being a disservice, providing myself with a disservice, because I'm saying I'm not going to post content, and I'm figuring out why I don't want to post something. Well, that's stupid, because I need more content. My thing is content is king. Get as much, you don't have to go overboard with it, but get as much content as you can. Most importantly, stay engaged with your audience. Read and respond to as many comments as you can, and don't don't assume that when you become involved with YouTube that day one you're going to have a big channel. You may or you may not. I know people that have started a YouTube channel and within a few months they were in the millions of views. So it can happen, but anything. Anything you need to know, man. I'm an open book when it comes to offering YouTube lessons learned. Again, I don't consider myself to be an expert, but I'm getting close to. I'm almost at 55,000 subscribers and almost at 39 million video views. So it's grown, and I don't mind. OG says just entered your giveaway. Cool, man. Good luck. Ron says hello, OG Dylan. I just subbed your channel. I'm going to sub your channel too, man. Let me see here. Let me go to channel. Let me see if I'm already a subscriber. Well, I am now. I just subscribed to OG Dylan. There we go. Big Plane says thanks for the tips. No problem. And that's why I enjoy this channel. Is just. Ron says, I like your channel. Isn't a one-trick pony of the same topic. Cool, man. And that's what keeps it. And you brought a good point up there. That's another thing that I encourage people to do. If you keep your channel, if you don't limit your, let's put it this way. If you created a channel and it was very specific, you'd probably start to run out of video ideas. But if you keep it somewhat wide open, you probably won't run out of video ideas. There's probably always something new coming out to feature on YouTube, and you'll probably keep yourself entertained because you're not boring yourself with the same set of content. B-Hendo says, question for you. You rave about having the best video quality in a drone. After watching the last year or two, I've come to realize I do notice you post some drone flights, but what do you wish you could use the content for? I noticed you post some drone flights. What do you... Well, the thing is, I just like to... I like to post the content on YouTube with the drones. And, whether it's the actual flights, that's just showing the quality or lack of quality of the drone camera. And then I've got the tutorial segment where I'm out in the field and, explaining... either reviewing a drone or explaining the technical aspects of it. So, ultimately, I put it up on YouTube, and that's the thing. I mean, it's drones. I ran a survey, and you should check out my main page, the community section. I ran a survey what people liked about the channel. Let me load that up here, and that's right in line with your comment. So let's see. Let me figure out where the link to that is, and I'll link that back to us here. It's a new feature that YouTube just rolled out, and let's see. I'm going to get to it, and then I'll paste a link. So here's the link to it right here. If you look in the video comments. It says, so one of the polls that I ran, it says, what is your favorite content on my channel? This I ran 2 weeks ago. It had 83 votes. And people's favorite content at 47% was drone. The second most popular category was Sean Coonery at 33%. Obviously, he's a huge celebrity. A lot of people have asked, man, why is he on your channel? And I'm like, well, I live with Sean Coonery, so why wouldn't he be on my channel? And then the next highest ranked was How To at 13%, and then followed by that Travel at 6%. And lastly, at 1% was live shows. So it's kind of interesting. Live show was down there at the very bottom. And then the other thing that was interesting, I ran this 2 days ago. Have you ever watched a VR video on my channel? 53 people participated in this survey. 66% said no. 17% said yes. And then 17% also said not sure what VR is. So as you can tell there, VR is still young, and there's a lot of potential for VR. So, looking at YouTube content, I would encourage everyone, embrace VR, become familiar with it, become comfortable with editing it, and take these little cameras out with you wherever you go and just, capture the environment. That's what people like to see. And another thing, just you may assume that places that you visit or places that you live or whatever, that they're boring. But you got to keep in mind, if you live in a tropical place, there's also other people that live in a tropical place, but there's people in cold weather environments that love to watch tropical content. Likewise, if you live in a cold weather environment, there's people in the tropical places that want to see the cold weather content. If you live in the suburbs, there's people that don't like that, but there's people that live in the city that love to see suburban scenery. Likewise, people that live in the middle of nowhere, they love to see city content. So think about your content that you can easily access. You don't have to incur a huge amount of travel expense, because your areas that are easily accessible and affordably accessible, those are probably places where you can collect quality content that a lot of people will enjoy watching content from that environment. So keep that in mind. Let's see. OG Dylan says, I really enjoyed how positive and good tips that you give out. Cool, man. I try to keep it real. Dark Horse says, thank you. This is inspiring as my channel is varied in content. I think it's harder to grow this way, however. Let's see. Well, there are people that have a lot of luck with a very specific content set. But in Dark Horse, I've already subscribed to you. Cool. But what I found, though, is that the problem is if you invest the time and energy into creating and then incubating a channel, if it's very targeted, then you've devoted all that time to that one channel. And if you run out of content for that, then you're tasked with the possibility of maybe creating another channel, where if you leave it wide open, you've got one channel. Now keep in mind, there are a lot of people that run multiple channels and they cross-promote. But for a one-person operation, now if you've got multiple people involved, in theory, one could create their own channel, and then they could have friends, family, whatever, running other channels, and they could all be linked and heavily cross-promote, using YouTube cards, etc. But, my best recommendation is to stick to one channel, because what you may find is that if you go the multi-channel route, then not only are you running multiple YouTube channels, but then you've got to run multiple Twitter, multiple Facebook, multiple Pinterest, multiple Instagram, and at that point it likely becomes a confusing and or overwhelming experience, and that feeling of becoming overwhelmed likely limits the amount of content that one will create and publish. So it's a way to one thing I can confidently say, I've never lost interest in YouTube, and I never will. And that's, just keeping everything wide open. B. Hendo says, Casey Neistat might be risky with his use of drones. Regardless, I love his flights. Helped give context to his vlogs and the location he was at. Yeah, that guy's got a lot of followers. I was in Manhattan, actually, in Central Park, and I sent Casey Neistat a message on YouTube like, hey man, let's do a collab video, YouTube collaboration. He never responded, but that's all good. Ron says, I loved how both of us got the spark about the same time this summer, and we shared tips and best practices almost daily. No doubt, man. No doubt, Ron. That one of my most exciting things with the spark was, not knowing how well or how poorly it was going to behave, and I launched it off the front of a boat in the middle of the lake, and that could have been catastrophic. But it turned out well. Dark Horse says, I would love to add a drone, but its use in Canada is getting so restricted. That's a shame, man. Because I know at one point, and I may be wrong, but I think at one point, I think Amazon may have been testing their drone delivery service in British Columbia, but I guess maybe that's gotten the axe. Dark Horse says, so far away from buildings, homes, animals, and city shooting requires a permit, which can take 2 weeks. Wow. Living the dream. I haven't heard of that. OG says, hey, I'm doing a video of Echo Dot Gen 2. Hope you can check out. My dad got it for me for Christmas, so make sure you check it out. Definitely, dude. I'll check out the video, and that's a cool, Echo, the Amazon Echo series is something that Amazon released. Amazon is an awesome company. I love Amazon. Their web hosting is great. Their Amazon Prime is great. But something they've always been lackluster with is hardware. I mean, think back to the Amazon Fire phone. It never made it. It flopped. The Amazon Fire tablets, their perception seems to be kind of lackluster. But Amazon Echo, I had the original when it came out, and it was something that hit the world by storm. A lot of people, including myself, it's like, man, this is an overpriced and glorified alarm clock. Who needs an Amazon Echo? But as people, including Amazon, began to realize what the Echo was capable of, now Echo has evolved into so many different things. I mean, my lights in my studio right here, I got Alexa to turn them on and off, and before this live show concludes, I will ask her to turn these off, and you'll see all the lights go out. That's a cool thing. You get these smart plugs. I'm going to do a video tutorial on that, but you can plug them into your lamps or some other devices, and then you can use voice commands to control your lighting with Amazon Echo, which is really cool. Dark Horse says, thanks so much for your replies. Very helpful. Well, thanks for tuning in. What's the difference between Alexa and Google? Well, Alexa is the original. Alexa is the Amazon, the voice of Amazon, the voice of Amazon Echo. Google, obviously trying to chase Amazon's success with the Echo. They released, I think, what they call it, Google Home. But now I love Google. I love YouTube, and very awesome company from a software and software tools perspective. But with hardware, I'm trying to think of something big that Google would have released from a hardware perspective. They had the Google Glass going for a while, and then that project just fizzled. Everybody was getting excited about it, and it fizzled. I think from an excitement perspective, that was probably one of the pieces of Google hardware that I was most excited about, and it just fizzled out. So that was severely disappointing. But Amazon's going strong, and I mean that's hardened by the fact that if you look at the original Echo, was tall, had a really fancy speaker system. Now you've got Echo Dots, you've got the Echo Show that has the big screen for video. You've got the new one, and I think it came out. Oh, actually, it may be today, the 19th. The little bitty Echo that has a little bitty screen on it. So there's a lot of that just shows how successful Amazon Echo was, because they're releasing multiple hardware versions of a successful product. So I think the only one that may not do that well, and I don't know if you've heard about it, is it called the Echo Look? I never ordered it, but it was basically one that it had a camera on it, not to be confused with Echo Show, but it had a camera on it, and the idea is that people would have this Echo Look in their in their bedroom or wherever, and they'd get up every day, they put clothes on, and they would take a photo with Echo Look, and then Amazon would look at the outfit and say it looks good or it doesn't. So a styling consultant spun off of Amazon Echo. I see where Amazon's going with that thing, because Amazon sells clothes now, but I mean, does someone really want to do that? I mean, it just seems a little bit extreme. But Yeah, the original Echo was super expensive. But yeah, VR, you know, I'm just, this thing right here, I just can't wait to really put it through its paces. Now I've got, so far I've just posted the unboxing video. I'm going to have a ton of tutorials. Look at how I've got this thing kitted out here. Isn't that sweet? Pop it out, you got rubberized feet on your little tripod there. This can be cool. Yeah, I've got a couple of them. And the one thing is with the the Amazon Echoes is that a lot of people may not realize this, but you can have multiples. So if you're in your place of business or your home or wherever, you can have multiples, and the Echoes have multiple microphones in them. So say for example, you had a place that was partially dead spot where it couldn't hear it, but if you stood on the other side of the second Echo or third Echo or whatever, that that more than one Echo may pick it up. Echoes are should be smart enough to where if you're issuing a voice command, that the Amazon Echo that's closest to the person speaking should be the one that responds. So that's kind of neat. And if you're using multiple Echoes, if you got them in multiple rooms, let's say for a residence, for example, where you may have multiple bedrooms, they can function as an alarm clock, but they can function independently, which is pretty cool. So if you've got Echoes in every bedroom of your house, but you've got guests over and you don't want to wake them up, if you do your alarm for your Echo in your bedroom, then it's not going to alarm the other rooms, which is really cool. But there are certain functions like turning lights on and off that are linked among all the Echoes that someone has in their account. So let's see. OG says, how do you keep growing your channel, and how many subscribers did you start out with? Well, obviously started out with 0 subscribers, and when I started out, and had I realized the opportunity that YouTube provided in the past, I would have started much sooner. But so I started with 0 subscribers, and I didn't even realize, why do I want subscribers? And I'd watch YouTube videos and I couldn't figure it out. I thought it seemed spammy. Why are there these things getting people to click and want to subscribe to a channel? I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. And I posted a cruise ship video. Y'all can check it out on my channel. It's a Carnival Elation. Check out that video. That was my first big video that I posted on YouTube. And YouTube at the time, YouTube Partner Program, was by invitation only. And it, to become part of YouTube Partner Program, you had to receive an invitation. So Google contacted me directly, and they said, hey, we really like your Carnival Elation video. Would you like to become a YouTube partner? And normally that sort of email solicitation I would ignore. But since it came from Google, I said, hey, this is legit. I'm going to check it out. Long story short, became a partner, monetized that video. And then I'm like, well, if I've got this one video, what prevents me from creating more and more videos? What prevents me from becoming a self-created, internet celebrity or whatever? There's nothing. The sky's the limit. That's the beauty of YouTube, is that you can start with nothing and you can create something. I mean, I've been to YouTube Space in New York City. I got invited to that. Really cool production studio, multi-million-dollar production studio. Actually, I was about to go back to YouTube Space, but had some stuff come up, so I didn't make that trip. But I want to get back there soon because they got brand new sets. You become part of this YouTube culture, which is really cool. So, how did I get so many subscribers? Starting out with 0. In the beginning, had I known what I know now, I could have grown the subscribers a lot more rapidly. I mean, right now my objective is to get through 100,000 subscribers, because if they still have it when I do that, I should get a YouTube Silver Play trophy. It's a little piece of silver. It's a play button. You get that when you hit 100,000 YouTube subscribers. So I'm really trying to get to 100,000 as soon as possible. But it's the best advice I can give now, and it's changed. It used to be annotations, the little boxes that you would overlay on a as part of a video. Maybe you've got a graphic in your video that says subscribe, click here, and you would overlay an annotation with that. So if they click that area, it would appear they were clicking the button, but they're actually just clicking that box that you laid out as an annotation. Annotations are a thing of the past now. They've replaced it with what are referred to as YouTube cards. So what I would strongly encourage you to do is, utilize the, let me get the correct terminology here, but there's the cards that you can embed within the video. So if you want to cross-promote your other videos, playlist, website, etc., while a video plays, you can use the, if you go into edit your video within YouTube, you'll see what I'm talking about. But if you want to just cross-promote other videos in other video playlists, use a YouTube card. In your website, approved website, you can do that. But what I would also highly encourage you to do, there's another tab when you edit video, it says end screen and annotations. If you watch all of my most recent videos, what you'll find is that when I've got the video clip where I'm flying off of the island, and it says, it's me talking, it says I'm an independent channel, click here to subscribe or whatever, that's an outro video clip that I filmed, and I overlay that end screen and the end screen section so that people are encouraged to subscribe. Have that verbal call for action, but also have that visual that encourages them to click. And something I learned from, excuse me, something I learned from some of my many training sessions. I've been invited to a lot of YouTube training sessions because of the growth of my channel, and I guess other reasons as well. But something I learned from someone within one of those sessions, and they made a good point. They said, if you put your call for action for people to subscribe to your channel, you want to ask people, you want to have that verbal and visual call for action. Please subscribe to my channel. But they said if you put it at the end of your video versus the beginning of your video, it can be more effective. And the reasoning behind that is that if someone's watched your video in its entirety, they like your content. And if they like your content, that's someone that's likely going to subscribe. And if they didn't know they could subscribe, that's a great time to present them with the invitation to do so. So that's a lesson learned. And it says, let's see. OG says, I love doing YouTube, but it sucks because I don't have a computer to edit. Dude, you can edit from smartphone, man. Check out, if you're using iPhone, even the iMovie app on an iPhone is quite decent. And if you want to get into editing on the cheap, check out, save up, get a Mac Mini, bring your own monitor, bring your own mouse and keyboard, and use iMovie that, at least at the time of posting this, still comes with Mac OS. That's a great way to do it. And keep your outro clips, your call for actions, your intro clips. Create all of those. Keep those in a file somewhere, in a folder somewhere, so that when you edit new videos, you can just paste those clips at the beginning and or the end of the video. That saves time. So then that way, for your video editing workflow, you're only focusing upon the new content that you've created, and you've already got the intro and outro sections to simply paste in to that new content. Saves time. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you post a new video. Burkell says, I discovered your channel a year ago when I was checking out the Karma Grip and Hero 5, so I know you as a gadget review type of channel, and I look forward to other reviews. Very cool, man. Let me, Burkell, I'm going to subscribe your channel, man. That's something that's super important. Everybody in here, everybody's in this live show, if I haven't subscribed to your channel, let me know so I can do so. That's how us YouTubers, especially us independent YouTubers, how we make it. You subscribe to me, I subscribe to you. That's how it works. Living the Dream says, I have 9 subscribers. Well, you know what? 9 is better than 0. And that's the way you got to look at it. And now you've got 11 subscribers. I just subscribed. So, it's I check in for Mavic 2 news. I might cave in and get Mavic Platinum in January. Well, Burkell, I hope Phantom 5 and or Mavic Pro 2 is coming soon. Surely DJI is not going to let people wait so long that they start to lose interest in the products. Because that's a serious concern for a for a product manufacturer. If they're silent for too long, they start to lose the community's interest, and they start to fall off of top-ranked searches. They start to, become less noticed. So, in theory, let's say they waited, and hopefully this won't happen, let's say they waited 3 years to release the next drone. By that point in time, a lot of people would have likely lost interest. So yeah, I don't know. There's Sean Cooner. He just laid down on the table. He's all stretched out. So yeah, it's going to be fun. But I mean, here's the thing. We don't have a new drone yet for 2017, for Christmas 2017. But we do have reinvigorated interest in VR. I'm going to be all over it. We've got a huge group of like-minded people that watch this channel. And, we've got a lot of things to stay entertained here. It says, I just tried to send a super chat. It did not work. Let me see if I have to turn that on here. Send a super chat. Let me see if I've got... I'm checking that out. That's a great question. Enable live chat. Enable slow mode. Send a super chat. You know what? I feel stupid. That's something I got to investigate. So it said you tried a super chat. It did not work. You're saying you did not have it enabled. Stream options. My super chat tab, I just found it says no new super chats or sponsors yet. That's what it gets from my admin interface here. So I don't know if that means I've got to. I don't know. That's a great. Thanks for saying that, man, because you're the first person that has said anything about the super chat. So it makes me wonder, how many people may have tried that and it didn't work, and they didn't say anything about it. Sean Cooner is putting his paw on my keyboard, so hopefully nothing bad is typed here. Yep. He said he wants to go watch Gold Rush. He's a big fan of that show. Good TV show. Don't like to watch a lot of TV, but when I do, that's a cool one. Well, also my name is pronounced Burkle, but spelled Burkell. LOL, no big deal, my friend. Oh, very cool. Burkle. Burkle, is that right? Burkle. Or Burkle, or Burkle. Let's see. Well, this is good. The video stream. I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. Does the new studio lighting, does it look good? Does the audio good? So I always like to kind of poll the audience, because in my studio I mark everything with gaffer tape, so that if I move a table or move a chair or move a light, that everything should be able to put back into the optimal location. And even my chair, I'm angled it a certain way, and you'll notice the top of my head, it's barely below the top of the frame. So it's, it takes a lot of, oh, very cool. Looks great, sounds great, and no lag at all. Good. And what we were talking about earlier with the Echo and using voice commands to turn the green screen on and off. Not only did I implement that feature in my studio from a pure nerd factor perspective, but I implemented that feature because I don't have to physically touch my two lights on the green screen or my key light, because anytime you touch a light, you have the opportunity to jiggle it. And if these things move just an inch, the lighting that you're seeing now, it may not be as crisp the next time you see it. Any sort of change in position and/or intensity of the lighting can make the video results inconsistent. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask Alexa a question. I'm going to ask her to turn off the green screen. So you should see everything here in just a second go dark. Let's see. This is, and keep in mind that's 3 lights that are about to be turned off. So this, I don't know, it's kind of cool. I know it's a simple thing, but it's cool that it works. Alexa, turn green screen off. See, there goes my green screen. You know what's funny though? Looking at this, even with my green screen off, I mean, now you can see. So that shows, that's a clear illustration of how lighting can make a video look good or great. Because see, now all my green screen lights are off, and all that I have are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 LED daylight white bulbs overhead in a row. You can check out my green screen tutorial on my website, and you can see how I've got lighting on there. But you can see how everything got dark since I got her to turn the lights off. But that's super convenient, and yeah, this YouTube never ceases to amaze me. It's just so much fun, and you know, anything. Hey, excuse me, sir. Hey, Sean Coonery. Sean Coonery's on my keyboard. I've got to type. Sorry. So thanks for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube.com/IrixGuy, because I'm going to post a plethora of new content. All of your holiday shopping, for everything holiday shopping related, go to IrixGuy.com, go to store. I've got links to cameras, I've got links to drones, I've got links to the VR equipment. I've got links to a bunch of other stuff, and if you don't see it there, just shoot me a message. The best way to get me is Facebook.com/IrixGuy, and I'll be happy to see if I can find a link to what you're looking for and share it with you. So with that being said, I'm going to bump into this outro clip now. And again, this outro clip, this is something that I filmed separately from the main video. But it's something I not only use in my live shows, but I use with my previously recorded shows, so that I can have that call for action to subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. Thanks for the great show, all the great comments, questions, and we'll have another live show soon. This show and all of my previously recorded live shows can be found. Go to IrixGuy.com, go to live shows, IrixGuy's live show, and you can catch up on all of them. Or if you want to share this with your friends, family, people in a bus station, people in a bowling alley, wherever, you can do it. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.